everybody, back again, and today I'm going to do something a little different. I decided I wanted to try my hand at tying a knot in a piece of steel with just the hammer and the anvil. So the first thing I'm going to do is stretch out a section of this. We're going to make a scroll so I can put this on a keychain ring once I'm done with it, and then we're going to go ahead and we'll see if we can tie a knot in this piece of steel, and if we're successful and if it looks cool, we'll go ahead and cut it off and I'll put it on my car keys. So I'm going to start off by just thinning this out a little bit, because if this is going to go on my car keys, I don't want it to be absurdly heavy. Cool things about blacksmithing is you can have a lot of fun just kind of getting some practice in from time to time. Just doing little fun projects for yourself, for friends, family. Things you wouldn't normally think of doing, like tying a knot in steel. And we're going to get this longer and thinner and longer and thinner. Longer and thinner and longer and thinner. Good just to give yourself some practice at the basics. And with thin stuff like this, it's actually a lot easier to screw up than you would think. So every once in a while I like to do these projects that are a little tricky. And you can see just how much length we've stretched out of that little piece at this point. We started with maybe that amount and we've stretched it at least twice its original length. Now we're going to start trying to put a knot in it. So first we're going to bend that around itself. Start working this down. We're getting close. You can start to see we're going to be able to start threading that through itself soon. Working it tighter and tighter. Now I'm just going to bring this other end to a point. For no particular reason, except for to practice getting a nice sharp taper. we'll get our knot as tight as we can. Cut off our steel knot. Go ahead and flip it around and fix up that other end a little bit. Just cool it off so we can take a look at it. And just like that, we've got a knot tied in a piece of steel. And you can see how small this is. But it is a little knot in our steel. Nice little practice piece. Nice and square. Good little tapered scroll to fit up onto the keychain. Doesn't weigh much. And it's just a nice little practice piece for fun. I could have made this a lot cleaner if I took more time with it for sure. But this was just kind of showing you guys, you know, you don't have to make these big elaborate projects in order to get some practice in at the basics. I mean, you can get practice tapering stuff with a thicker taper, with the square tapers. You can practice getting real nice tight little round sections. And you can practice tying knots in steel if you ever want to tie a knot in your steel. I know this was a bit of a shorter video than what we usually do, and it was something kind of off the wall, kind of odd, but tying a knot in a piece of steel can be quite fun. Good practice for practicing tapers and control of your material and things like that. As you saw, we got a nice round section up here with that teeny tiny little taper, with that teeny tiny little scroll, and then we've got a nice fat square taper on the bottom end. This is just something I'm going to throw on my keychain just because. Just a little decorative piece. No particular reason. I just felt like making a knot in some steel today and showing you guys that you can indeed tie steel into a knot. I've seen this done on a couple other channels, and I've seen this done at, you know, demonstrations before to show that yes, in fact, you can tie a knot in steel, and they actually end up looking pretty interesting when you tie them together because, you know, it's not a piece of rope, it's a piece of metal that is now tied in a knot. But it's a fun little decorative piece that you can have hanging on your car keys, not for any particular reason. That's one of the amazing things about blacksmithing, is you don't particularly need a reason to do something. Sometimes you just get some practice, have some fun, do something different. And that's kind of the point of this video, is you don't have to make big projects in order to improve in smithing. If you made one or two of these are actually really interesting little tricky things to make. They're not the easiest thing in the world to create. But they look cool, and it's a nice little decorative piece. Why not get out in your shop if you got a shop and try it yourself? But that does it for today's video. If you guys like what you're seeing, do me a favor, do that thing right there. And until next time, God bless, stay sharp out there. If you're looking for a custom hand-forged knife, sword, polearm, or whatever, check out the Etsy store. Link will be at the end of the video. And I'll see you guys in the next one.